Welcome to part 4 in the Lovevery book bundle series. If you guys are new here, my name is Rachel from The Confused Mom. I share baby and toddler product reviews, activities, as well as Montessori at home tips, and I have reviewed all of Lovevery's play kits to date and now all of their book bundles. I'll leave links to those in the description box below. In the first video of this series, I did a high-level look at the common complaints, whether or not the book subscription is worth it as a whole, and then in these shorter mini videos, I'm taking it play kit by play kit and whether or not I think that add-on is worth it or not. And I'm also releasing individual videos for each of the bundle books as a read-along. So typically in my Lovevery reviews, I flip through every single page so that you can go ahead, pause it, slow it down, read through it, and make sure it's a good fit for your family. These videos though, there's too many books to do that without these videos being a chaotic mess. So instead, I'm releasing individual read-along videos where you guys can go ahead, watch those with your kids, or go ahead and figure out whether or not it makes sense to get that book depending on what books you already have or like your family values or whatever. So be sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss those. And let's jump into the 2 to 3-year-old book subscription. The Helper Play Kit includes an original Lovevery book, more opposites, which is a little bit overkill, and they're really relying on the Olivia Goes to the Dentist book. And I have to say, I was so skeptical based off of the behind the scenes Insta stories they shared, how it was gonna turn out, and I am so impressed with them. They nailed this. We all know visiting the dentist can be a very big sensory overload for kids. And this book kind of walks kids through what to expect. Breaks it all down in very manageable pieces. Things are going in your mouth. You're gonna close your mouth, da 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 da. But where they really thrived is how open-ended they kept the experience here. Down to the fact that when they are teaching kids how to brush their teeth, they did not include rinsing and spitting out the toothpaste. So if you're a family that uses hydroxyapatite toothpaste, which you need to leave on the teeth in order to be effective, you will understand how awesome that is, because my daughter got very confused why we don't spit out our toothpaste, but they spit out the toothpaste in, I don't know, other TV shows or books. So this was really, really helpful in how open-ended they kept it for those of us that might use something other than a fluoridated toothpaste. The only thing I feel like was really missing from the Olivia Goes to the Dentist is a little discussion on diet and reasons for dental decay. All the pediatric dentists I follow on Instagram are constantly talking about how much on the rise early tooth decay is happening. So I wish they would have added it in the book, the importance of vitamin A, C, D3 and K2, magnesium, zinc, omega-3s, etc., like the foods that all of that can be found in. But if they couldn't have worked that into the book, I wish there would have been a little pamphlet for parents taught from a holistic pediatric dentist talking about those things, as well as the common reasons for early tooth decay in kids, from mouth breathing to oral or gut dysbiosis, autoimmune issues, food intolerances, or other GI issues. I think would have been really helpful, but that's just because I feel like Lovevery likes to overachieve in how they educate parents. So I was a little surprised to not see any conversation on that. Not that it makes the book bad by any means. Personally, I get it just because I think the dentist can be an overwhelming experience, and I scoured high and low before my daughter's first dentist appointment to find good books, and I did not find any that I liked at all. The Enthusiast Play Kit comes with a visit with Captain Shelby, as well as When You Love a Living Thing. Both of these are Lift the Flap books. When You Love a Living Thing is great. It pretty much just teaches our kids about being gentle with things. I do feel like they missed an opportunity to include a page on friends, since I know a lot of 2-year-olds struggle with sharing and even how to greet their friends in this kind of time of consent culture, which I kind of touch on in a previous video. I will leave a link here. There's nothing wrong with the book. I just feel like there was a missed opportunity there. And then A Visit with Captain Shelby is an interesting book. So basically it is a walkthrough of a fire station and some of the rescue vehicles. I feel like it is an unexpected opportunity and lesson on finding the answers ourselves. This book asks a lot of questions to the point where it feels like there should be an answer sheet, because there's no answers actually given to the parents. Pretty much you are going to probably need to book a trip to your fire department or local library to figure out answers to a lot of these questions. And I feel like they probably should have given a cheat sheet, because I feel like if you work a 9 to 5 or a 9 to 6 travel time commute, you may not have time to do something like that. And I have no idea what most of the stuff is in this book. As far as get those or skip it, really, like I said, that's definitely going to be one. It depends on your situation at home. As far as books, I think When You Love a Living Thing is a really sweet book, but it's not a concept I feel I don't know. My daughter didn't need help with it. My son may need help with it. We'll see how that goes. In the Investigator Play Kit, it comes with How Can I Help? And This Is Not Your First Book. This Is Not Your First Book is basically building your toddler's confidence and realizing how much they already know about reading and pointing out print concepts, as they call it. How Can I Help is a really sweet story, but I had to change some of the text. When I do a read through of this one, I will read it with that changed text. So essentially what it is basically a lift the flap book of all about rhyming as it relates to manners. My big issue with this book comes at the very end, where it talks about where we fall short with our manners, and it specifically says, I open my mouth when I chew. I mean, if you just heard my rant about Olivia Goes to the Dentist, you know I'm really big on making sure our kids are not turning into mouth breathers. I have a little bit of a lisp. I have like some stuff going on. I know the long-term impacts of being a mouth breather. I tape my mouth to sleep every night. But we know about 2-year-olds is that they often listen to the behavior they're told. So for instance, when our kids are screaming, we don't say don't scream. Instead, we say use an inner voice. So we always want to be phrasing things to guide them to the behavior we want and avoiding highlighting the behavior we don't want. So the fact that this highlights I open my mouth when I chew, I've worked really hard with my toddler to chew with her mouth closed. And luckily she's a year and a half past the age range of this book, so she understood that nuance. But if I was giving this to her at 2, it would have been very confusing to her. I can guarantee that. I hope they change that in future updates. For that reason, I'd probably skip this one, but it is a lovely book about manners. For the Free Spirit Play Kit, we have This or That and A Day at the Beach. This or That follows 2 twins around as they make tons of choices in getting dressed for the day. Kids are sure to love it. And just a really great reminder how many things our 2, almost 3-year-olds can do on their own, and how many choices we can actually give back to them, which is really helpful in preventing toddler tantrums, which I did a video on. A Day at the Beach is by far my #1 Lovevery book of all time at this point. It is a masterclass in parenting siblings. It teaches toddlers about empathy, about making mistakes. It's teaching parents how to narrate and parent siblings without infusing judgment or bias into that conflict resolution. And 1010 a must read. Even if you don't have 2 kids or more kids, it's just so well done. Communicating boundaries, narration, all of it masterfully done. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, drop a comment below with which add-ons you think are worth getting, which you think are worth skipping. Be sure to go back, check out those past individual reviews, check out my Lovevery Play Kit reviews as a whole, and I will see you guys in the next video on their 3 to 4-year-old review.